Okay.
Oh, night. A second. You meant really a second. Hold on here. Now it's me on the second. Oh, it says we're live, Reggie.
Yeah, that's what I said. Hey.
Hey, welcome to the show, Reggie. Good to see you a second time on air with us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Well, you're so welcome. And folks, you know, I'm going to share a couple quick photos here, but Dr. Kimberly, she is quiet in the control booth today because unfortunately, you know, she's been working on some pulmonary issues. And last Friday, we spent some time out in the community. We were out rolling on the road quite literally, and we're seeing how this happens. It didn't go on the screen yet. It says, oh, there we go. So there's Dr. Kimberly and I down at the Public Museum. You can see the whale in the background. We were doing a photo shoot for Experience GR. And she, of course, did a fantastic job. But then we went out on the ice at Rosa Parks Circle. So that's a farther view of Dr. Kimberly. And then here's a zoomed in view of Dr. Kimberly. And so she tried to keep her lungs warm by wearing the mask, but unfortunately, so she went and lost her voice. And as evidence that I'm not just making up the photo shoot, because when they take hundreds of pictures for a travel magazine, you never know which ones they'll use. But here in the background, you can see the photographer laying down. And then Patrick on our staff, who is also part of the photo shoot, there's Patrick. And so the photographer was laying down, getting Dr. Kimberly rolling, sliding by in her wheelchair. So that's the reason why Dr. Kimberly's not with us today, is that she is lost her voice due to rolling on the road in the freezing. But Reggie, we're glad to have you. You just have me as the interviewer.
Oh, that's good.
All right. Well, we'll see what we can do. So yeah, tell folks what's been happening at Veterans Corner. I mean, and I hear congratulations are in order.
Well, man, thank you. And listen, so I'm in the midst right now because we had soul-filled luncheon today, and people are still. I'm upstairs in one of the offices in our director's office, and people are still down there enjoying all the wonderful food. Oh my God, it was so much food. It was just amazing. And,
where was this?
Today from 12 to 3.
Okay.
In celebration of Black History Month.
Awesome.
Yeah, all my family and friends all made soul food dishes and brought them in for us. And it was just an abundance of joy and just so good to see veterans fellowshipping and just enjoying themselves and getting a great meal. And they're still, some of them are still down there with smiles on their face. And hopefully they'll take to-go trays, and so I won't have to worry about a big cleanup. So, but yeah, as you all know, and if you don't, I am the founder of Heroes Corner, Grand Rapids, and we're located at 2120 44th Street, Suite 202. And we just been truly blessed. We since the last time I talked to you, Dave, I think I was working a part-time job and paying the rent myself. But as of January 1st, we've been blessed with a grant for 1 year where they paid our rent for 1 year and gave us a few extra dollars. We now have an administrative assistant, and yeah, we're able to do more. So hopefully within that year, we're working. Our law firm is working on completing our 501c3, and we can continue to help veterans get their life back. It's been proof that what we're doing is working. Veterans are loving it. You know, one of the greatest things that I really enjoy is sitting back and hearing our veterans talk amongst each other and how they share. And then at the end of the day, when I see two veterans both part ways, they both go separately. But you know, I like to hear them say, "Hey, I'll see you here tomorrow." You know, and when I hear that, I know it gives them something to go home to strive for the next day. And it is just an awesome feeling when we know that we're providing a place where veterans come enjoy a cup of coffee, watch TV, play a board game, and just have great fellowship amongst other veterans. And just to see them smile, and we don't know what they're going through, but we know for that moment they're really letting go, you know, and they're really enjoying their life.
Right. Well, first and foremost, that is awesome. Congratulations on the grant for this year and some stability in that. So, you know, you got to have a good foundation to continue to grow on. So we will continue to support in any way we can as you continue to grow. However, let's take, you know, a half a moment backwards. Give us a little bit more like what, you know, again, that opportunity for camaraderie and coming together. What's happening at Heroes Corners? What have you guys been up to?
Oh man, well, we've been growing our attendance. We've been doing fun stuff. We just did some tie-dye T-shirts. Let me see what. Besides our food today, we're really one of the things I think that we're really working on is getting more of the word out and really trying to link with transportation. Our building is still hard to find, so we're still working on getting some banners out front and get some of those big feather flags so people can see us either side of the street that they're driving on, or they may be on a bus, because that's one of the things that I'm personally working on. And I think we just have, we got some new volunteers. You know, people are starting to volunteer to help out. And I think we're growing in a direction to where we're meeting new veterans and new challenges. Recently, a few months ago, you know, we helped one of the widow veteran help bury her husband, which was on the news that they didn't know the resources that were available to help bury her husband, and we assisted her in getting over $3,000. And then also a couple of us drove up to Battle Creek to Fort Custer Cemetery to just be there with her as she said her final goodbye. So,
yeah. Awesome. Yeah, it's one of the things we say around here at Disability Advocates. You know, like peer support is so undervalued because it's not like you give somebody a meal ticket. Like, what did you give somebody? I gave them an hour of peer support. Well, what's that? You know? But yeah, that peer support and to support a widow at such a time, it sounds like a bad MasterCard commercial, but that's beyond priceless, right?
Well, thank you. Hey, David, I got to share this too. Because I'm glad that's why you're the interviewer, because it's like you bring out stuff in me. Recently, we had a veteran that moved here from New York, and he was having some challenges with the house, with the community part of the house he was staying in. And they reached out, and I went and talked to him. You know, and I say, I don't know what it is you're looking for and what you're trying to do. But the bottom line is today he showed up here. He don't know how to, but he found out how to catch the bus, how to get here on his own. Matter of fact, he brought one of his other house guests with him. And, oh man, just to see the joy in his face, because he's one of those veterans. He was angry. I say, man, you're bringing that same New York attitude to Michigan, which is not going to get you nowhere. And if you want something, you got to do something different. And you can best believe we're not threatened by somebody that we know. You know, you can't just tell us what we're going to do. You got to put some work into it. And yeah, today he was here, had a nice meal, got some socks and some sweats. He was very happy when he left, and so was his roommate. So, like you said, when it comes to peer support, what people, what sometimes people don't understand is that the boundaries and the things that we share and go through, and sometimes we put our own feelings aside, and sometimes even though it's a struggle, even for the peer, but the bottom line is to care for that person that's in front of you. And when you do it as it's my passion, I love it. I never thought that I would be able to work and do God's blessing, but peer support is my calling, and I wake up every day to make a difference in someone's life. I don't wake up to be a burden. I wake up to be a hand up, and I think that's one of the things about peer support that is really growing. And I really wish more people of professions would see us as valued, like as we are.
Yep.
So thank you for saying that, Dave.
Well, and it's in a negative arena or an arena that's negative. I mean, we hear statistic upon statistic that the suicide rate among veterans continues to be way beyond acceptable. I mean, death by suicide shouldn't be acceptable. But again, veterans, huge amounts. And some of the stuff, there was a recent study that just calling and asking somebody, are you thinking about committing suicide today? That saves people.
Thank you.
That peer support saves people. And it's like, well, we can't talk about it. Shh, don't talk about it and it'll go away. And it's like, no, if you don't talk about it, it goes deeper and darker. And that's the extreme, which is ending your life. But then it's just coming to a new town. I mean, all the way to joy-filled, enjoying food, that talking with people, sharing stories, that, just enlivens life.
Yeah. And like you said, and I want to encourage everyone, there's nothing wrong with checking in. If you know, it don't even have to be a veteran. If it's a family member or friend, call them up, check in. That ringing of the phone stops the pulling of a trigger in somebody's life. And you will be amazed when that phone rings, how welcoming that person is on the other side. Because for that split second before that, we don't know what they were intending to do. And just sometimes just say, hey, I just called, see how you're doing, say I love you, and let them talk.
Yep.
Let them talk.
Yep.
Because you're right, our suicide rate, and we all have to continue to fight to do something different. We just can't say, the numbers are only going to go down as we lift up. And we can never stop fighting to make it better. We can't just expect the system to come up with a design. No, we have to be a part of the plan. And we have to continue to say nothing about us without us.
Awesome.
And let's be that voice to where we may not never know the numbers, but I guarantee you one thing we will see the change of life. And if we see the change of life in one person, you should know you've done your job for just that day. Because don't ever think because we've done our job that tomorrow doesn't start anew. And we need to always remember that there's somebody in the basement that doesn't know how to walk up the stairs. But if they see you hit that switch and that light comes on, and they see that somebody's standing at the top, they may just want to walk up and see who face that is. So I always tell people, if you know somebody in the basement, turn on the light and see if they recognize or come upstairs, because that's how we're going to get them. Yep.
Yeah. So where is this place that you say is hard to find?
Oh, man. We're at 2120 44th Street. Suite
Scrolling at the bottom.
Yep, in Grand Rapids, Michigan. But the tricky part of it is our building that sits on 44th Street, but you can't get here unless you turn on Applewood Street. So you have to
Okay.
remember Applewood. And
Applewood.
another, yeah, you have to remember Applewood Street. And always remember the phone number, which is 616-635-2768. Remember the phone number, because before you turn around and go home, call us. Because if you can't find us, we'll come find you and bring you back to where we are. And
awesome.
Even if we walk, like we said, because we haven't gotten our transportation connection yet, but that's down the line still to come. But if we're here with a car, we will come find you and bring you back. And if we have to, we'll walk out to the middle of the road so you'll see us, and then we'll direct you here. Because one of the things we want to do is, if you're looking for us, this is not hide and seek. We want you to find us. So just feel free to call us and let us know, and let us know what we can do to help you.
And of course, folks, if all you remember is rolling on the road, you find Dr. Kimberly and I will get you to Reggie, because that's what community partners are all about, is helping each other get stuff done, knowing what each other's strengths are. And again, I love that the numbers will come down as we lift up and we lift each other up. And again, the stuff happening at Heroes Corners. Yeah. So what else is happening? So people make their way down 44th Street. They turn on Applewood. They get to the door. They wander in, walk or roll in. What's happening? What's happening when I get there?
Hey, first of all, they're greeted and with a big smile, and they're welcome in, and we find out what it is they need. And if they have food insecurities, we can direct them to the food pantry. If they need something right away, we do have a shelf with some food on it. And if they need other resources, if their lights or gas, they need help with utility bills, we know how to direct them to those resources. And if they just want a cup of coffee, we always invite them to enjoy a nice fresh cup of coffee. Anything that they may need. And if we have a veteran that's struggling when they come in, and if they need to go to mental health, or they just need to go to the hospital, we walk alongside with them. One thing we don't do is let a veteran walk out our door to go to the emergency room by themselves, because we know a lot of times veterans feel like they self-heal when they get away from what they wanted help for. So what we do, we continue to walk with them to let them know that they're not alone. So when you come through our doors, we welcome you, but we welcome you to find out, because if we don't do it, we can find out who does. Just like Dave, you were saying, hey, community partners are so important, because we can pick up the phone. And I like that, because I know people probably, Dr. Kennedy is one of my big resources, because people don't realize that the wealth of knowledge that she knows. So I could call her and be like, hey, do you know so-and-so? And she'd be like, I'll call Senator so-and-so. I'll call Congressman so-and-so. And those numbers I don't have. So you have to, so I'm glad that we have the community partnership where each one reach one, teach one, and help one. Because that's what we're all about. And the same way with Disabilities Advocate. When somebody says, hey man, I'm having a problem getting a wheelchair ramp. Hey, I need something done in my house and I'm disabled. Boom. Disabilities Advocate. There you go.
Yep. Yeah. And then as we're quick to, we don't have a food pantry, but we know where all the food pantries are. And if we discover a new one, we put it on our list. Again, knowing that what are the right resources, what are different people's strengths. We don't have to be everything for everybody. We know what our role is, other people's roles, and we keep helping each other. So with that great stuff happening, what else is, so people are greeted, they're brought in. What else is shaking these days?
Well, one of the best things is that people know we started with Marge Donuts. And if you don't, Marge was the first
Yep.
place we started. So guess what now? Marge keeps that relationship going. So Marge furnished us with plenty of donuts. So that's another good thing. I love it when veterans come in and they be like, hey, man, are these, and they always say, hey, man, are these donuts free? And then they look at the wide variety of fresh donuts and they just, and when only thing it is, when I see a guy eat 4 or 5 donuts, and then I have to remind him that, are you diabetic? And so, which we're all guilty of, and do that. But it's just so warm to see how some of our community partners who believe in us really are there for us, and they walk the walk. It's so nice. Some of our VFW posts have been so generous to really helping us out on levels unmeasurable, and it's just so nice to see. Oh, I got to tell you this one: we don't keep clothing unless it's new, but when somebody brings it in, I get on the phone and I call people, and I love it because people will hurry up and come down and pick it up, even if it's used clothing. I guarantee you, a person loves a slightly used shirt, and when they can decide between when they only have 2 and now they have 4. So
I'm gonna, and there is zero shame in that, because I will tell you, I have this red vest that I got a year ago at a local thrift store, and I've got coworkers here that love borrowing it because it's just a striking red vest. Somebody else was done with it. They donated it to the thrift store. Thrift store made some money for their good charitable cause. I got a beautiful red vest. Coworkers used it. So folks, if you got a closet full of stuff, you could talk to Reggie, Heroes Corners, all kinds of opportunities for support. It's how as community do we continue to help each other. And again, folks, I just love the support of our veterans. You've heard me say it. As I talk to the audience, I'm usually not in favor of the creation of veterans, meaning what are we doing on that international level that we have to have such a big army and all that stuff. However, once we create a veteran, then it's 100% support. That's the piece where it's, and again, I don't want you to start crying, Reggie, and telling us horror stories of your experience trying to get assistance at times through some of the bureaucracy. But at the same time, the bureaucracy, the Veterans Clinic here in town, I've heard really good things about it in their new location. Kent County Veterans Services, they have service officers to help people navigate. And then where you have peer support, like at Heroes Corners, that help you also. Again, it's helping to get the stuff that you've earned. It's there. It's been earned.
Yeah. And I want to say this too. Any veteran that's listening, it's been years and you may not have checked in. It's so many new things that we have been diagnosed with that now people are getting paid for. Please check back in. Even if you don't like your VA, find out what it is that they can do for you, or find out for yourself. Go online, find out about the new PACT Act. There's certain veterans that were denied benefits that they're entitled. So go back and find out what the PACT Act's all about. Go back, ask questions. If you don't want to go, man, the Veteran Service Center, which is located on Fuller Street, I can't remember the address.
It's right next to Kent Community Hospital. I mean, it's now Spectrum Health. The main, they call it Fuller Campus. It's the cross street is Bradford. So Bradford and Fuller, there's a traffic light there. If you hit the traffic light, take a hard right and you go in the parking lot that way. But it's right there in the corner. Again, Reggie, you're absolutely right. It's like, I'm not going to go to the VA and I'm going to prove something. You're not proving nothing to the VA by not trying to access the benefits you've earned. And now that there's Reggie, that if you talk to folks at Heroes Corners first, I call something the magic words. And the magic words, our good friend Aladdin opens says me and the door opens. But you might need the magic words of, hey, if you ask for something this way, they'll say no. But if you ask for it that way, they'll say, oh, yeah, it's right over here, right? You're laughing because it's true.
It's the truth.
And at Heroes Corners, that's what the value of peer support and the power of peer support is, that people who've learned the magic words and have experienced not knowing the magic words and so learn from others with that knowledge and get some doors open for you.
Absolutely. And you know what's so great is when you say that is because I'm really working on patience, and I'm working on doing something different. And I love it because you ever be at a restaurant or you be in line at the grocery store and the cashier say, I'm so sorry, and be like, hey, I'm patient. But and I had a great experience because I was at Domino's, and I guess it was like really, the lady was really frustrated, and the guy ahead of me was giving her a really tough time. And she said, sir, I'm so sorry, I apologize. And I goes, oh, it's okay, I'm patient. And guess what happened? She gave me my pizzas for free. And she was like, sir, you're not going to believe this, but the same order that you just ordered, these people just called and canceled their order, and I'm just going to give you the pizzas.
Nice.
But if I would have been all mad and grumpy, she could have been like, you know what? He's going to wait, and I'm going to make him some more pizzas, and we're going to charge him. But, and I'm so glad because it's just confirmed it to me, too. Hey, Reggie, as you work on your patience, you might not always get a free pizza for it, but it becomes habit. Yeah.
Yeah, you might not get a free pizza, but you're going to have lower blood pressure. And somebody else you're going to have a better day, and everybody else around you is going to have a better day.
That's correct.
But, of course, it always reminds me of that one prayer. It's like, dear Lord, please give me patience and give it to me right now. So it's all of those pieces and helping people with patience, perseverance, because that's the other thing, even with the magic words, you need perseverance sometimes to continue to access what's out in the community. That's why you need a community, because while you're persevering and being patient, it's good to have people to hang out with.
Absolutely. Dave, this is so awesome because it's like this is a time of need, and especially for our community and our state, and our veterans, because as the weather changes, and now we know we're going to go from winter to spring, and things are going to start being more open, and we want you to take hold and try something different, and I'm not saying Heroes Corner is the answer, but come give it a shot. Come just say, what, I'm going to stop by and see what it's all about. And if it's not for you, but it may be for the guy that you know or the lady that you know.
Well, exactly. If anybody claims that they are the answer, run for the door.
Absolutely.
As you can. But if, like you just said, you're an answer for a lot of people. And come check it out. The worst thing that could happen is you get a free donut. You meet Reggie, meet a few other veterans, hang out, have some good times, and just say, hey, this was cool, but I'm not coming back. It's like, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Man, you know what, Dave? My battery's about to die out.
Uh-oh.
But look, I'm going to go downstairs because I want to show, I want to show everyone that's on here one of the pride and joys that we haven't even talked about that happens at Heroes Corner, that you don't even have to come here to do it. So I'm going to walk downstairs, Dave. I'm going to still be on mic, but I'm going to turn my camera off.
Okay.
I'm going to go down so we can plug in.
All right. Well, and I'm just going to once again, while you're walking, I'm going to show once again, folks, that as Reggie's moving there, I am sharing the screen. And here's why Dr. Kimberly's not with us today live. she is in the studio running the controls. There's Dr. Kimberly last Friday night out on the ice of Rosa Parks Circle. Once again, there's some photo shoot happening, so look for Dr. Kimberly in a travel magazine near you soon. But that's the fun we are having, and now she's under the weather by breathing too much cold air last Friday. And once again, we are with Reggie Howard of Heroes Corner. As is scrolling on the bottom, you get to 2120 44th Street, southeast, and turn on Applewood, and you'll find your way to that awesome space. Be greeted with a smile by other veterans. Most days, free donuts. I don't want to promise free donuts every day, because one day you'll show up, there won't be free donuts, and you'll blame me. But no, I mean, Marge from Marge's Donut, huge supporter. That's where Heroes Corners got their start. And Reggie and Taz, who used to be a veteran apprentice here, they're doing great stuff, folks. Again, if you're a veteran or if you know a veteran, please, please, please don't hesitate to send folks their way. So, Reggie, you're back on screen.
Yeah. Hey, listen, before I do anything, because I'm back downstairs, I'm going to go back upstairs. But, Dave, I just want to show, I don't know how I reverse my camera. I don't know if I can.
Right.
But what I want to do, I want to show everyone, if you're a veteran or if you know of a veteran, past or present, I want you to really take down our address. You can mail it in or email it to us. We pride ourselves on our wall of honor. All our walls are built of veterans, past and present. I'm gonna turn my phone, and I just want to see if Dave recognizes anybody on our wall.
Uh-oh. Ha-ha. There's our Dr. Kimberly. Holy mackerel.
Hey, Dave.
Was that Taz?
Hi. We got to get you down here, Dave.
What's that?
We got to get you down here.
I'll be coming down. I mean, and I'm not complaining, but all I'm saying is, if you had soul food today, let's keep celebrating Black History Month.
Absolutely.
I do want to chat with Reggie about that as well, because, you know, as we celebrate Black history and we focus on the accomplishments and the dedication of veterans from the African American community, and then unfortunately the negative stuff that happened to some folks. But all that being said, it's yeah, we need to continue to honor that history. We need to know that history. I don't understand people who are pushing back on Black History Month, but I am not one of those folks, again, that when we look at the contributions, as a Polish American, you know, I celebrate Madame Curie. People forget that she, who was a great scientist for on radioactivity and all kinds of things related to that smart science. She happened to be Polish. This month we can celebrate the contributions of so many African Americans through history. And so, and especially African American veterans. When we've gone to an all volunteer army, we have, again, an overrepresentation of African Americans who go into the military for opportunities, because unfortunately in other parts of our country, opportunities are closed off to people of color for no good reason. In fact, we'll just call them racist reasons. And so the military can be one way up. And unfortunately, sometimes the military, because what people are asked when they go in service, people that went to Iraq and Afghanistan and other instances, I mean, there's huge prices to pay personally for your mental health. And so anyways, Reggie, good to see you back upstairs. Thanks for the tour downstairs. It was great to see Taz. And yeah.
And thank you for allowing me to do that. And as we talk about Black History Month and celebrating, and I really, I really take this to heart. I can really say I am a proud African American man um, who strives to be better. And when I struggle with this recently because I got this job now, and I'm able to do tremendous things for some of our vets. But one of my uncles was a Vietnam veteran who came back home, who lived with his sister, and pulled a wagon in the summertime to cut people lawns. And if it would have been peer support back then, my uncle wouldn't have died not knowing that he could have got services that he were entitled to. He suffered an injury in Vietnam, and nobody knew, none of my family members knew that they could have gotten him help. And I think about that. And also, and I think about Dr. Kennedy's dad. And I think about how when I met him, just how honorable of a man that he was, and he didn't reflect on the past or what happened. And it was so great when she told me that he had got his benefits, but just look how long it took. And I want to encourage anybody. Military, and they may not have seek services, please help them. And if you know of one past, if even if it's in the past, I think you would do your family a great service to even try to make sure that we honor them by getting their name or their picture up on the wall, or even being able to get something to show where they are now. And we should have no unmarked graves of people that we know. And
absolutely, absolutely, folks. Our theme today is patience and perseverance and peer support. So peer support and honoring, check out Heroes Corner. Again, the phone number that Reggie gave us, 616-635-2768. Give them a call, hang out there, honor folks on the wall, and find out, again, ways you can apply for the benefits you've earned. One of my favorite personal sayings is, I cannot guarantee success. I cannot guarantee that if you apply for benefits, you're going to get them, but I can guarantee failure. If you do not apply, I can guarantee you won't get them. So, folks, apply, find out from other veterans what might be available. As Reggie pointed out, his camera just went on the fritz for a second there. Oh, there he's back. But as Reggie pointed out, there's a lot of things that are now being compensated for. Some things that folks didn't know they experienced when they were in the military, what kind of chemical contamination. So there's all kinds of things. Ask. Get to Heroes Corners. We can't say it enough. Check it out, 2120 44th Street. Look for Applewood. Call Reggie. They will talk you in. If you're an Air Force vet, right? They have those things right, like at the airport. They'll get you there.
You're awesome, Dave.
Well, thanks, man. I just reminded of a friend who was an Army chaplain. He retired. I can't remember what his rank was, but as a chaplain, you get to go in as a lieutenant or something. I think he was a major or what have you. But anyways, he used to always like to brag. I don't know what service were you in, Reggie? Which branch?
United States Navy.
You were the Navy. Well, see, my friend would brag up that the Army had more airplanes than the Air Force and more boats than the Navy, and those Army guys, right?
They're down there doing that right now, Dave. Hey, look, we do this. We do this all the time because it's one of our things. Hey, look, you just brought it up, but we do it every time because me and Dr. Kennedy will tell you the Navy is the best. Everybody else follows. Yeah, and they're down there doing that because we have this battle all the time.
Nice.
But we have that battle all the time. Yeah.
Good friendly rivalries.
So funny. Yeah, that is so funny. But one of the things, that I love them, even though we rag on each other for our service, but I guarantee you, we'll help each other regardless. And I guarantee you, when the time needs a hug, we'll love you just as if you were a Navy veteran, because we understand the unfortunate that everyone can't be. So we will give you the same hug we give our fellow Navy veterans.
All right. That's, because it's like brothers and sisters, right? You can't hit my brother, but I can.
That's right.
So
That's
don't
right.
be picking on veterans. But
yeah. So, but thank you, because they were just down there. Every time we have a get together, that's one of the things we rag on. And then when people first come into Heroes Corner, one of the nicest things that they really love is because we always ask, hey, what branch of service did you serve? And then when they tell us, because I stand up when it's a Navy person and say, hey, welcome home. There's plenty of water, you can drink it. But then when other branches come in, you'd be like, hey, you know what? Sorry you couldn't join the Navy, but we're going to accept you anyway. Yeah.
Razzing.
Oh yeah. So that's good, man. And it's just so wonderful. And then you want to talk about like our soul food luncheon today. It's so nice to have been honored with every race, and I'm so glad that our veterans, when we told them, they don't see it as color, and like I said, we all support each other, and they are out here and having a ball, and it's all our history, and we all celebrate in it. And today was a great indicator, and I hope some of the pictures get out so people can see exactly we're not divided, we are together. For the ones that think like they're separating us, they're not. We refuse to be separated in hatred and in racism, and we refuse to step back. We want to bring everybody up. And that's one of the great things about at Heroes Corner is that I just love seeing us as all races, because some of us share in the same common problem. We all, and because we all share in setbacks in our lives, we all share. Some of us share in addiction, and one of the other great things, we all share in recovery. And one of the greatest things, another thing about Heroes Corner that I love, is a total substance-free place. You will always be safe here. That's one of the things that I really love being able to speak on and hold to high standards. And that's because I'm a recovered addict myself. And I strongly believe that you give people what they need and you be true to your word. I'm never going to change it. There's never going to be alcohol, and there's never going to be drugs on our premises to be allowed. No, it's going to always be a substance-free place. And I tell that to anybody, and I stand firm on that, because we are all about saving lives. And if somebody comes here and they decide, hey, today I want to learn how I can stop drinking or stop doing drugs, I want to be there to walk them through it, and not having somebody to be here to talk them out of it. So if you didn't know that about us, that's one of the things, and I stand strongly proud, because I was given my life back. When I went through treatment at the Battle Creek VA, I never thought that I would be this rewarded. So I will never turn my back on anyone that wants to move forward when it comes to that. And if you do show up here drunk, I will take you to the hospital if need be. That I will do. I will not let you drive away from here. That's one of the things I will not do either. So thank you, Dave.
Well, and again, that is back to the power of peer support, the power of people who are going to care. Folks, if you are a veteran, if you have veterans in your family, your friend groups, your neighbors, send them to Heroes Corner. Address has been scrolling on the bottom, 2120 44th Street. 616-635-2768. And then, of course, if you're going there, look for Applewood. You'll find you can't pull into their driveway. You got to go around Applewood to get in. Are you guys on internet anywhere? Facebook?
Yes, we
like
are.
that?
We're on Facebook, Heroes Corner Grand Rapids.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we also have our website, Heroes Corner 1 at gmail.com.
All right.
And yeah, and feel free to reach out to us. And you can also Google us, and you can find our location. And we're always looking forward to hearing from you. And like I said, there's no big ask. And just be familiar that if you don't ask it, we can't hear it. So always and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to reach out. And believe you me, I don't think there's nothing you can call and say that'll be so shocking that I would hang up on it. So
awesome.
I want you to just be encouraged. And if you know of a veteran, reach out and tell them that there's help out here. And you know, because man, there's just it's just so much we can do together.
And it truly is that web of support, and it's finding, you know, again, Hero Support and Heroes Corner. And as Taz, who used to be an apprentice here, she knows what we have, and Reggie knows as well. And so we're connected. And so you're just going to find those resources and supports, and then that peer support. I'm just going to keep pounding that drum, getting that peer support, asking people for help. It's like, I feel like giving up. You got to say that, folks, and reach out to folks, and whatever it is, it is. And as Reggie just said, they're going to accept that. They're going to hear that and listen to that and help you find that support if they're not that support you need. So,
thank you. And then, like Dave said, one of the greatest things about peer support is that we have lived experience, and when needed, we share our story, and our story is of hope, you know, because one day I was hopeless. You know, I really thought I was going to die an alcoholic, and I thought I was going to accept that and be okay with it. And when I found out, man, that there's a better way of life and God has something different for me, man. And I can honestly tell you, I wasn't ready to accept it at first, but I don't know, you know, when people say he'll open up a window and pour you out a blessing, my life has been truly a blessing. My life is it's nowhere directed and was earned by me. Only thing was earned by me is that I put in the work and follow the direction. And I do that every morning. I put in the work and I follow the direction. And that's what it takes. And you have to renew yourself every day. If you want a change in life, all you have to do is reach out for it. And I guarantee you, somebody's going to grab your hand. And all you got to do is be willing to follow the direction, even if you don't like it. Even if you don't like it. The worst person that I thought that was against me, and my therapist changed my life. And I love saying this, especially as an African-American man that was brought up that grown men don't cry, and we don't lay on couches, and we don't talk to people about our problems. Yes, we do. Because you know what? That's when the healing starts. The first time I felt tears run down my cheek, I also felt healing in my heart. And I tell you this because I know what it takes to be cured. I know what it takes when your heart is so hard that you think no, let the tears flow. There's nothing wrong with being a grown man crying, because you know what? I don't want to carry that water around anyway. So I'm so glad I could cry it out. But,
well, and as you kind of point out, you have a double whammy about showing your emotions, because we've had a bunch of trainings here about veterans culture. Trina Edmondson, who's our workforce development manager, Trina's passionate about helping veterans. I mean, we've told the story of Trina helping Dr. Kimberly in her movement forward in life, and Trina continues to have, apprentices here reaching out to the VA when Taz was an apprentice here, all that stuff. And so in one of those trainings, we had, it was actually a two-day training with some veteran chaplains. And they said, like, the number one thing you teach veterans, or not veterans, you teach folks in basic training is you don't ask for help, do it. And so it's drilled into you, don't ask for help. And so as an African-American male, don't ask for help, don't cry. As a veteran, don't cry, do it yourself. And then you come out and it's like, well, I can't ask for help. And it's like, ask for help, folks. Ask, show your emotion, let it go.
Yeah. Man, that is so true, Dave. Thank you. And I tell people that too, because, a lot of things that have been embedded in our head. And I tell this to people too. Look how many times they have rewritten the Bible. And you think about this in our life. Not everything that we were taught didn't mean it didn't work, but that doesn't mean it can't be improved.
Yep.
And I'm a living witness that, both the military and grown-up life. But I'm here to tell you, I got and I may not say, because it may be some other therapists on here, but to me personally, and for my life, I got the best therapist, because I can tell you, my therapist taught me how much of a liar I was. And I'm not afraid to say it, because not every time I think before I tell a lie, I remember how my therapist told me, hey, Reggie, this is what you say every time before you lie. So I didn't change the words, I changed the behavior. So,
nice.
And every time I catch myself doing it, I remember what my therapist had really taught me. And I'm a really truthfully better person for it. And I know how to say no too. I don't have to lie and say, I will help you move. I know how to say, no, I'm too old, I can't lift stuff. No, I can't help you move. But I will give you the number to somebody who will. But yeah, and I just want people to understand that if you see yourself struggling and you really reach out to somebody and listen to what they tell you. Because I tell you, man, I'm so glad somebody told me that it was help for me. And I know if they could tell me that, then I could tell you that there's help for you. Because we're not special. We're just people that cross the right person's path at the right time. And folks, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's 4:58, so we got to bring it home. 616-635-2768. Call Reggie if you're a veteran, a veteran, family member, neighbor. How to, again, get connected to the help you need. Get connected to peer support. We all need peer support. I'm just going to brag up. 2 weekends ago, I had the 37th annual weekend away with 4 of my best friends. We've been doing it for 37 years. Again, that kind of peer support, I pray everybody has that kind of group of friends. So again, thank you so much, Reggie, for hanging out with me. Thank you for the work you do. I'm going to see you there. You heard Taz. She invited me, so you don't have to. So I'm going to show up. I know to turn on Applewood, folks.
Yeah.
And if all else fails, get a hold of Dr. Kimberly or I will connect you. And continue to honor our veterans this month, especially our African-American veterans in Black History Month. Just a lot of support from the Revolutionary War through today. African-Americans have been fighting for freedom in this nation. So, and then last but not least, Reggie, we're going to go one last time to the photograph of Dr. Kimberly out on the ice, folks. The reason why Dr. Kimberly's not here to sign off with us, there she is, enjoying the ice. So, Reggie, last words, take it home.
Each one, reach one, teach one, help one.
Amen to that. So see y'all next week.
Thank you.